We want to start everything with a prayer and in a good way. Since this project was taken to ceremony and asking ancestors for guidance and for permission, it's always just appropriate to start with a prayer.
Those days that you don't want to do anything, where you're too tired, too sore, you just don't feel like it, those days, those are the days that count. When you have those feelings, it's even more important to step up and get some. If you've got something to do, don't put it off till tomorrow. Don't do that. Don't voluntarily do anything tomorrow that you should be getting done today. Get it done today. Don't wait. Attack it, destroy it, and move on.
Every single day when you wake up, you got two options. You can look at the clock and hit the snooze. You can look at that snooze button, boom. You can hit the snooze button and go back to bed and dream about what you want to have. Or you can look at that snooze button, kick that clock, and get up and go pursue your dreams. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. I don't owe you a dime. It's your dream. If you want it to happen, get your butt up and make it happen. If you want it to happen, rise and grind. If you want it to happen, you're going to have to do what I do, and that's get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you're going to have to act like you got all the energy in the world. Why? Because this is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today.
Greatness will cost you something. It's going to cost you some time. It's going to cost you some energy. It's going to cost you some sacrifice. It's going to cost you some resources. It's going to cost you some hours of your life laying down, paying the price, going the extra mile, doing what other people are not willing to do. Greatness is not cheap.
Sorry. That is to honor the loved ones who have been impacted by mental health, our relatives who have passed by suicide, and our murdered, missing, indigenous people who were taken. Another event is a suicide prevention glow walk at 8 o'clock at the Rosebud Powwow Grounds on May 31st. This is also sponsored by St. Francis Mission Youth Group, Wachoni Wakan, Health and Healing, and Togala Inagio.
Oh, for our Look Up the Phrase of the Week, we are going to do Take Good Care of Yourself. Right? That one? Diane, or which one do you want to do?
Yeah, we can get Lexi Dwayne on the
Okay.
phone for that when you do that. Let's go ahead and introduce our guests.
Okay, so this week we do have a special guest, and we will let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cameron Antoine. Do I introduce my business? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm the owner of Cozy Cleaning. I currently go to school full time right now. That's really all. I live a very simple life. So I really just take care of my family, spend time with my family, tend to my business, go to school, and still work on my other aspirations that I'm trying to obtain. So that's what's going on here.
Okay, and we invited Cameron in today to talk about her business and kind of her lifestyle here on the res. And again, her business is Cozy Cleaning. Do you want to talk a little bit about what exactly your business is?
Yeah, so Cozy Cleaning is basically just, a lot of the times we get caught up and we can't tend to our homes, and it's nothing like, it might not even be something that occurs all the time, but we just get busy with school, work, and kids. So basically what Cozy Cleaning is the helping hand that you may need. I clean homes, I clean small businesses, commercial cleaning when supplies is provided, I can do that. But that's basically what Cozy Cleaning is. We do deep cleaning, move out cleaning, standard cleaning. We do regular cleanings if somebody wants a cleaning every week, or if there's I'm so sorry, if there's like, my friend,
It's okay.
I'm nervous. Sorry, guys. Let's just be real. I'm nervous. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so But for like establishments here, when we have something that really is a big issue here is in finding good employees. So a lot of the times, what I've been doing right now is not good employees, but
Reliable.
Yeah, reliable employees. Just finding people that are driven to work. So what I do is I go in and I basically contract with certain areas or certain places like tribal establishments specifically, and come in and do their cleaning for them. So that's basically what I do. I just clean homes.
Nice.
I have my friend here with me. She helps. We clean your home with love, or your establishment with love. So
Awesome. So what made you want to start your business? And yeah.
okay. I had a mentor that had their own business, and I came across them, and I seen how basically their schedule was very they were able to make their own schedule. The reason why I started my business is different from why my business is continuing now, but I started my business to basically be able to create my own schedule, because I did have to take care. At the time, I took a lot of care of my grandma, and I would have to go to school. So I didn't have a time to really, go to a 8 to 5. And I'm also somebody, I don't strive in that work environment. I don't strive in 8 to 5.
Yeah.
That's something that I found out about myself. So therefore I was like, okay, what could I do? What is there a lack of? And here there is a lack of cleaning, any services, basically, it's so good to start a job here like that on the reservation because there's a lack of services here.
Mhm.
So just wanting to make my own schedule is really what pursued me to start this cleaning business. Now, what pursued me to start entrepreneurship is whole differently. So what pursued me to, do I just keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what pursued me to start entrepreneurship was basically just seeing that there wasn't any job options around here that I liked. So
Yeah.
there wasn't anything that I was like, wow, I want to go and do this every single day, you know, or I want to devote my time into learning this craft to make it perfect almost.
Mhm.
So therefore I was like, well, if I can't find that, I'm going to create that.
Awesome.
So that's what drove me to start my entrepreneurship journey. And then, but that's also what I stated in the first part was what drove me to start my cleaning business.
That is amazing. Have you had any obstacles in creating your business or anything like that?
I think there's actually there's so many obstacles. First, money, because it's so hard to save, especially when you come from a place where it's very poverty stricken and you're not used to financially being responsible. You have to save money to have a business. You have to save money for your LLC. You have to save money for your supplies if you need it, to, you know, invest in yourself. And I think that was one of the hardest things, was investing in myself, whether that be mentally, you know, physically or emotionally. It took a lot of like going without for me to have my business. So I wouldn't be able to like, you know, go travel every weekend because I needed to save money to start to establish my LLC first. And so I think that was one of the things, was just the financial aspect of it, having to be responsible enough to be like, okay, this is what I want. And although I might miss out on this, I'm going to have this, you know, and this might bring better opportunities than this would have brought. Another aspect was believing that I'm built for this. Like, you really don't. I never grew up around anybody that truly was an entrepreneur. I don't know anybody that started their own business personally, you know? So I was like, wow, like, am I supposed to be here? And I still face this issue now. It's like, I'm just gonna be really raw. There's times where I don't feel worthy enough, you know, like I don't feel worthy enough to be able to create my own schedule or to be able to do as I please, you know, like I need somebody to constantly boss me around, which that's not, like, you're worthy enough to be your own boss, you know?
Yeah.
But just even thinking like, it's a lot of mental telling yourself like, it's okay, like, you're okay, like, you can do this, you know, like, you're going to be able to create this beautiful thing from this idea that you had. And I just feel like the imposter syndrome is what they like to call it, you know, like, you don't think like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. But there's a lot of times where I also watch a lot of podcasts too, where a lot of people who have came from nothing, that's one of their biggest things, is they were like, I'd be in the moment, I'd be around all these people and I would be sitting right in front of my blessing, what I asked for, and I wouldn't think like, oh, like, I'm supposed to be here, you know? So that's something too, is like, sometimes I'm going to business meetings with people and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm here with all of you guys, you know, and you carry all of this knowledge with you, and I'm only 20, I was trying to say I'm 20. No, I'm only 22 years old, you know, and I get to sit at tables and have meetings with these people that are very well respected. And to me, it doesn't feel like I'm supposed to be there, you know, but I am, like, because it was written in the stars for me. And if I wasn't supposed to be there, then I wouldn't have been there. Yeah. So just realizing that, like, wow, like, this is for me, you know, and even something as simple as a cleaning business, you know, like, people don't understand, it's the mental aspect of it. Like, it might be something so small as a cleaning business, but to go and put yourself in these positions around, really, everybody's a value, you know, I'm not, but there's certain people that, like, have really worked towards to create a higher value for themselves, you know? So to sit at a table with these people that I've, like, and just a year ago, my life was so different. So just to sit at these tables with these people and have conversations with them and have business meetings with them is such a eye-opening thing. Another thing that I feel like was very hard for me was the support system. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really have, people don't see something, they don't believe it till they see it, you know? So you
Yeah.
could have any kind of dream you want, but they're not gonna truly like go for it until they see it right in front of them, which is, it's, you know, it makes sense. You know, I feel the same way. But I think just having a good support system too, you know, because there's a lot of times where I like, sorry, I got a little bit. There's been plenty of times where like I needed guidance in my area and I didn't really have that, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's not like anything like personal with other people. It also comes from me being too scared to ask for help. So just little things like that have been like little roadblocks for me, and just realizing that I don't know everything. I really don't know everything for real. Like there's a lot for me to learn still. And growing up, like I used to be a very like, oh, I know it all, you know, like, but I don't. Like there's so much for me still left to learn. So I feel like those are really just genuinely like roadblocks that I've had on this journey of creating Cozy Cleaning, and while I'm still obtaining it and it's still in progression. It's just imposter syndrome, the willingness to invest into myself, and just having a good support system, like people that you can look to for guidance. You know, mentors are very important. I think that we can't get through life without them. You can't get through life by yourself. So
I think what you are doing is so amazing to see, especially here on the res. Because you don't see a lot of that.
I think I agree with you. You don't see a lot of it. And actually, I was talking to my friend about this. This is basically what I said, was our backtrack to why it's such a struggle. When we don't see people do certain things, we don't think we're also capable of doing those things, you know? But when you see somebody else do something, you're like, wow, I could do that. Like maybe I could do that, you know? Being an Indigenous entrepreneur is very, very rare. So like growing up, if you don't see nobody do it, you ain't gonna do it. Like do you really know any like Indigenous, you know, what would I say? Like actors that come from here, you know, or just people like that? No. And you don't really see anybody else striving to go do it, because we're so secluded in this area that like we can't see anything past it. You know, so that's why it's so hard to get people around here that are to open up their own businesses or to do something outside of the box. And it's not a bad thing, you know. It's just something that you need to be aware of. Like just because it's not around me doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing it. And that's with anything. That's with breaking generational curses. That's with goals. That's just with anything, you know. That's with unknown feelings, like feelings of peace. Just because peace isn't around me doesn't mean that I can't have peace. Just because I've never saw peace doesn't mean that I can't obtain peace, you know. It's just with anything. And I think that that's why it's so important to me. And like, even if it is just right now opening up a cleaning business, just to show my cousins, like, you can do this, you know, like you don't have to go work a job that you don't truly see purpose in going and doing every day. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be a cleaner my whole life. Like you know, like I'm not waking up excited every day, like, oh, I can't wait to go clean a toilet. Like, you know, no, it's the fact that like I know that this is just the beginning of what I'm doing, you know, and that's what I wake up and that's what I'd be excited for. It's like, wow, like this is just the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, you know?
Yeah.
So I got off. But yeah, no. So like I just feel like just finding something that feels purposeful to you, you know, because you're not always going to enjoy doing something, but when you find purpose in it, it makes it easier to do it.
I think.
What do you have next in line? Like, what is your next goal?
Okay. Well, right now, the money that I'm making from my cleaning business, I'm saving it to open a new business. It's a secret, so I can't. But when it happens, you guys will see. And so that's just really what I'm doing. And I hope other people take that like into account, you know, you don't have to be stuck at something. Even though I opened this cleaning business, I'm not committed to this cleaning business, you know. I can go, that's the best part about being in entrepreneurship. You can go and do something else, you know. You're not stuck to one thing your whole entire life. And even if you work 8 to 5, you're not stuck to that either, you know. You could go and venture out. But the next business I do have in mind has nothing to do with cleaning. It's cleaning something, but it's like it's not cleaning, and I'm no longer going to be in the cleaning business. But this has been a very humbling experience for me, and a very knowledgeable one at that, you know, because I really got to go and put in work for something that I desire. So it's going to be a whole different plane for me to enter into, and I'm really excited, and I really hope that, you know, me doing what I'm doing, even though I'm this young, I really hope that somebody else sees it and they're like, wow, I could do that too, you know, because it's not easy, but it's not super crazy hard either. Like, I'm still here. You know, you might want to cry sometimes because you're so confused, but like, it's okay. But right now, that's really all I got going on. I'm still going to keep doing my cleaning business, but I'm also going to have this on the side, you know, just till I figure out what it is that I really want to do to, like, for a long, long time, you know, like that's something I have commitment issues. Let's just be real. Like, so like I get really bored of things really fast. Like I constantly need something to like inspire me, you know, to make me like want to like, oh, I want to do this and this, and it's a bad trait whenever you have something like also big that you're working on too, because you can't just I can't leave my whole cleaning business, you know. I'm gonna have to find somebody that can hold it down. So before I move on to something else, I am gonna find somebody that, you know, I can entrust so I can solely focus on this. I'm gonna be so honest with you. My cleaning business came so last minute. Like, this isn't something I planned out for years. Like I came across somebody and they were like, yeah, well, you know, a cleaning business is good. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know, and not gonna lie, the first 2 months, I didn't take it seriously. And I'm just being very transparent, because I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, I went hard since day one. You know, I didn't go hard. Like, I didn't take it seriously for 2 months. And I prayed about it. And then God presented me with this crazy opportunity. And I was like, thank the dorm. I want to say it's the dorm. The dorm presented me with a really good opportunity. And I'm so grateful for everybody over there. And it was at that point that I was like, wow, you know, like maybe I should take this seriously, you know? And then, so that's kind of where it started. Like, I really buckled down, and because I was taking appointments before then, but it wasn't as frequent, you know? So like, it was hard for me to like really become devoted to something. But even that, like, this is my whole business, and I wasn't as passionate about it at first. And now, like, even from when I started it in November to right now, like, I feel so much more passionate about it. Not even just the cleaning, but because it is a representation of me, you know, and everything that I stand for. Like, so when I'm going to these establishments and I'm cleaning for them, I'm doing the best job that I can do, because thank you for giving me this opportunity. You know, I didn't go and like, it's not like a normal job where like I can kind of like mess up and it'll just always be a slap on the hand, you know, like, and like, I've had other jobs where I didn't take it as seriously. Like, this is different. Like, if I don't perform to my full capacity, I could lose out on something great, and that will solely be my fault. You know, it will be no one to blame. I'm not going to have a backup plan. So I just really go hard in what I do right now, you know? And I think that I'm very grateful that I was put in humbling experiences to make me, so I wasn't an airhead, because at first I was like, oh, I don't really care that much, you know? But like, now I really care. So I'm really cleaning, you know, I'm really doing it. And like, I hope nobody thinks that, like, you know, when I'm coming in your home, I don't care. Like, I do care, but I'm also being very transparent, because I feel like there's just a facade of like a bit. Whenever you start your business, you're so passionate about it, you know, and you're like, oh my God, I love doing this, and I'm gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna wake up excited every day. Like, no, that's not entrepreneurship. Like, that's not what it is. Like, you'll be in your business, maybe even like 5, 6, 7 months in, and you'll be like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's not, but you probably, excuse my language. But it's but go one more day. It's like, it's just hard because it's you doing it all by yourself,
Yeah.
You don't got a team. You don't really got anybody like to be like, oh, like for guidance. It's really just you. So
Yeah. And I think,
What are some of the things you do for your mental health?
yeah.
for my mental health, personally, I like to be at home a lot. I used to go to the gym. I don't find as much. I don't know what it is in my head right now, but you can't get me to step into the gym. Like, I ain't finding peace there. I look at them like, why is everything so heavy right now? No, I really enjoy being outside. I enjoy being around my little brother. My mother just had a baby, and every time I go around him, it's like every single sadness and anger and frustration that I have, it leaves my body when I'm around my little brothers. So I be around them. I'm somebody, when I go through things, I have to get away from everybody else.
Mhm.
So I go to counseling. I tend to do more things that like involve inward, rather than
Yeah.
going out and being around people. So I find that when I go through things mentally, I go into a sense of solitude because there's clearly something that needs attention within, and I'm not going to figure that out, me personally, being around other people.
Yeah.
Like I won't, the way my brain works, I won't be able to I'm so worried about what everybody else is doing and making sure they're okay when I'm around people that I don't have the time to tend to my own garden.
Yeah.
So usually when I'm going through things, I just go into solitude. That's how I deal with it. Everybody's different, some people are extroverted. Yeah, some people like to be around people. Some people like to go to the gym. Some people like to work out. I just personally like to go on walks, and I like really peaceful things that don't require too much like energy, because cleaning is a lot of energy. So I already do a lot of things during the day, and actually cleaning brings me peace. So that's something else. So I've been pretty at peace lately. I get mad, I go start scrubbing, and I got to do it every day. So there ain't really no room for anger and frustration, but it's still very much there. Though they're just feelings that you get rid of.
Mhm.
Do you have any questions?
I was gonna ask you how old you were, but you said you're 22,
Yes, sir.
and you sound like you're much older. Do you have any mentors?
I'm so nervous. That's crazy. I don't have anybody that I've been like, you're my contacted them personally and been like, you're my mentor. I actually have somebody in mind. West Clone, I'm coming. If you hear this, you've done a lot of things that I'm very interested in. So I'm coming for you for guidance. I'm just waiting. Don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe because I'm nervous. Like I said, I'm so nervous to talk to people in such different areas of my life but I know that when I go, they're most likely going to be very open,
Yeah.
So, and he's just done a lot of things that I'm like, wow. This is a little bit off topic because you're talking about mentors. What I really think is really cool with him is that and why I would choose him as my mentor is because not only does he run very efficient businesses, but he still takes care of his people. Like, kudos to you. So because that's a very big thing. And that's something I really prioritize is not only being able to run a sufficient business, but still taking care of the ones that you love, our community as a whole. But I would consider my mentors like my grandmothers. I've experienced a lot of things really early in life that have led me to this point in the way that I think. So I think that was my mentor, just life experiences and going through different things. But I've never really had anybody that I really went to for guidance. I've always been somebody I can't ask for help. It's really hard for me to ask for help.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of research on things. So yeah, I would like to say that.
That's what I was gonna get at because I always had side jobs. I DJ'd and did other stuff, and I never really took any of that real serious. It was just kind of to make a little bit of money. Until about 2 years ago when we opened up IET Management and I started working here, and I meet a lot of elders and stuff like Dwayne and a lot of their words of wisdom. But what I end up finding myself doing is I noticed my friend base really shrunk when I start taking stuff serious. I'm kind of like what you're saying. When I go home, I'm usually by myself. or I'm working. And so the friends kind of shrunk, which is good because you want to surround yourself with people with that same level as you, and you sound like you're up on a higher level. So I imagine the friends that you're around, if you have, if you have very many, are probably at that same level. And then also I do a lot of like research, like you said, like I'm on YouTube quite a bit. And, when I'm in a car, I'll find myself listening to like Eric Thomas or Jordan, where I'm listening to motivational speeches and just kind of, because you get burnt out, and I take on more clients than I should, but then I need that motivation. I need that kick in the butt. Do you do anything like that too? Do you catch yourself like listening to YouTube or listening to somebody else, or where do you get that motivation from?
Yes, actually, I love podcasts. I manifested this. No, I love watching podcasts, specifically Jay Shetty. That's really who I watch. He's really good. I would consider he talks about so many different things, and there have been so many things that he said that have actually helped me transform my life, and I could genuinely sit and listen to him for 2 hours talk, and they just sit and they have conversation. So that's where I also get a lot of like my good encouraging words from is podcasts. So I really enjoy listening to podcasts. I don't really listen to motivational things. I used to I listen to a lot of affirmations. So like things that are saying like, I am worthy, or, I am surrounded by abundance. I do little things like that. I talk to my grandma when I'm feeling a little low. She be helping me, my mom. So those are things that I do to like get that little kick in the butt. Or I'd be like, girl, you wanna be bougie, ain't nobody gonna take care of you. Like you better get it together. No.
And not to interrupt you, but you see Nicole up there says hi. And if anybody's listening, so you can find out right now if your family or friends are watching you, because you can tell them to get on their Facebook, Protector of the Sacred, and if they leave a comment for you right there below your headphone, you can see Nicole on the screen up there.
Up here?
So if anybody gets on there and wants to ask you a question or say hi, Cameron will see it. One of the things that Mel brought up this month is, what's the month, Melanie? Healthy
Mental health awareness.
Mental health awareness. And we also talked about in our Protector of the Sacred class way back in chapter 1, project 1, we went over this about having a clutter-free workspace. Like if your desk is messy, you tend to feel like, where's this paper? Where's that paper? You're all over the place. So can you tell us like having a clean place, what that does for you mentally?
Me or Mel?
You. I hear Mel all the time. I don't want to hear it right now. I hear her all day.
Okay, so anybody who knows me knows I'm a clean freak. Like my house looks like nobody lives in it. It's so bad. I be like coming up. I be like, as soon as people leave, I be cleaning. But me personally, I feel like not even just my workspace, but my home space. If things aren't the way that I need them to be, and they aren't clean, and they aren't even, just things is like simply dusting, I feel like my mind is boggled. And I feel this way because I think it's because we spend so much time there. You spend so much time at your office, you spend so much time at home. Why wouldn't you want them to be comfortable places? We wonder why, we wake up and we're groggy, we forget to make our bed. Like they say that, not to call nobody out, it's just a statistic. They say you're more successful if you make your bed in the morning. So just, what was the question again? No, I'm sorry. It was
having a clutter-free or a clean house or a clean desk, or how does that help you mentally prepare for the day or work better throughout the day? And there's somebody up there that just said, "Get it, girl." Do you know that person?
Who is it? No, but it's not my mom. That's your mom. No, I love you, Mom. Thanks to her for instilling cleaning in me. She used to have us cleaning, but I think that it really helps. I don't know. It's just been something that has, like I said, has been instilled in me since I was a kid. Like every Sunday we would do chores. I don't know what it is like to truly live in a very like cluttered environment, so I can't really speak from that aspect, you know, like I can, because anywhere, even when I lived with my grandma, like as soon as I got there, I was regulating things, like we gotta clean, like, you know, we gotta clear out everything, because I know that like just there's unneeded energy within objects, you know, like just you could have something that reminds you of somebody and it's not a good memory and you have to see it every single day, you know, throw it out, clear it out, you don't have to see it no more. So I just feel like doing those little things to take care of yourself and your surrounding, because not only what you're feeling inside matters, but what's going on the outside matters too, you know. Maybe I haven't really met like a person, I don't really know like somebody that's like really cluttery and like that. So I'm so cluttered. But you seem like you're peaceful, so I'm like, you don't see my house. It's so bad. I'm like, yeah, but like that's a question for you. Do you think that like your clutter makes you not like as a peaceful, or do you think it causes you stress? Like
It definitely does. Like whenever I'm home, like I'm not focused. Like I want to clean so bad, but whenever I have my boys with me, it's like I have to be tending to them. I have all of their toys. I need to organize their toys. I need to organize their clothes. I need to organize like all my cleaning supplies, all of our kitchen stuff, everything. So everything is all over right now. But so I've been wanting to try to contact you. But I'm the same way. Like I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to bother anybody to help me. So,
but we can't take on the world by ourselves.
yeah. So I'm like, she has this business, and I always say like, if there's somebody that will like, I can pay to clean my house, then I will pay them.
Yeah.
So,
and just know, like, I think a lot of it comes from like people thinking like I'm gonna be judged. I will never judge you. Like I know what it's like to live, I know what it's like to be from. I know what it's like to go through things. I know what it's like to be from here. Like we all start somewhere. And who would I be to go inside somebody that trusts me enough to come into their safe space? Like so that will never be a worry. And don't worry, I'll never tell nobody how your house looks. We locked in. No. But yeah, so it was just very hard for me to speak on that question because I never really grew up in a cluttered environment, so I don't know how it negatively affects, the next person, or if somebody that is in that environment, if it doesn't negatively affect them. But
Here you got one right up there. My mom saves useless things that somebody gives her. She's slowly
my grandma.
Do you have any advice for people that like to hoard stuff?
For people that like to hoard stuff, it's not, I don't know. Honestly, some people see like
I feel like with us, we like if we're given stuff or like we see something, like we want to keep it for like giveaways, and we're like, this is gonna be useful for a giveaway. But then we don't really.
The giveaway comes and you ain't bring none of that stuff. That's all in your closet. You done saved it. No, my grandma's like, it's somebody's birthday present. I'm like, grandma, somebody gave you that for your birthday. I'm not really. Honestly, I feel like. Why, like, there's a reason why we do everything, so do you have attachment issues? Like, is that why you feel like you need to attach to every single thing that's given to you? But I also agree with you. I've kept every single birthday card my grandparents have given me since I think the first one that I remember was when I was like 12. I'm 22, so you ain't getting me to throw those away, like, so I just think it's like figuring out what is valuable enough to keep, and do you have the space? Like you could keep whatever you want if you have a mansion. Like can't nobody tell you nothing. But if you don't have the space and it's creating discomfort for those around you, then it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Nicole. Which community has the biggest cockroaches? I'm just kidding.
They wouldn't even be here. It's Pine Ridge.
Yeah, they'll be carrying mice around.
No, I'm just kidding. Anybody from Pine Ridge. Do not come over here looking for me.
She's not kidding. All right, we're going to give these girls a little bit of break, get some water. We're going to play a quick video that Sam made for us. We'll be right back.
Baby moccasins. And You start out tracing the pattern on the leather. This is the left side, and this can be flipped for the right side. After you cut it out, this is how it's going to look. And when I trace it, I just do the center marking and the two markings on the side, the top and the bottom. And I start beading here from the center. And I had that paper. Once you get your pattern down and you decide whether you're going to use 7 beads or 5 beads, start in the center and follow your pattern down the side. You're going to want to count your beads and bring it over. And when you gonna attach it here on the end, you don't go all the way through the leather. Once you get the top all beaded, you can cut along this line here, up the center, and that's gonna be the back of the moccasin right here. And then once this is beaded, you're gonna take the bottom and put it on like this. And this is the part that goes between the bottom of the moccasin and the top. You're gonna sew it together inside out. So this middle part will meet up right up here at the top. And this is where you start sewing. You sew down the edge, and it's gonna look like this. There's the bottom. And once you start sewing, these sides will come in, and they will go all the way to connect down here to the bottom. And then you start up here and sew around to the bottom, and you sew up the back. After you get that sewn together, then you can flip it to the outside. And this is how it's gonna look. And this is the tongue here. I took the beads and I just sewed the edging around with all the beads that I used down here. And then you take this, flip it inside here, sew it on here with the sinew. We'll take an awl and put these holes here on the side and thread your lace through. And how I get the laces is that once you cut out your patterns and you're gonna have some pieces of leather left, even little small ones, you can do this, but you take a piece and kind of round it out. And kind of round it out.
And
And kind of round it out.
thank you, Sam, for that. And
And kind of round it out.
thank you, Sam, for that.
And kind of round.
Sam, for okay, we should be back on.
Right now?
Yep.
Hello.
We are back. So
Right now?
our
Yep.
Lakota phrase of the week is it's watching Awaniki Kafe, which is take good care of yourself. Whatever that means to you. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that.
Ouch.
Do you have any words of encouragement for anyone? Because I know there are a few other young people with businesses, and probably some other young people who are thinking about wanting to start businesses, or maybe them watching this or even seeing other people do it. Do you have any like advice or words of encouragement for them?
Yes, there's no right time to do it. Like the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to ever know your full capacity, you know? I would also like to say that it might just only be you believing in your dream, but that doesn't mean that your dream isn't going to happen. You know, others can't see your dream, but it's not meant for them to see. It's for you, you know? So I think just realizing that although you might want love and support from the outside, you're not gonna not make it because you don't get it. You know, like you're not like it. Eventually, you're gonna get it, but in the first beginning, if you don't get it, that doesn't mean that you're worthy of it any less. So I think just knowing that, like, wow, I can do this, and not being scared to fail. Don't be scared. You're gonna. Oh, that was loud. You're gonna fail. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna mess up. But like you live to see another day. You live to learn from what you went through. So I think just not being scared of failure, you know, and just wanting to take the risk and realizing that if you don't bet on you, how would you expect anybody else in this world to bet on you? You know, like if you can't see your potential, nobody else is gonna truly see. And what is the word? They're not going to see and care to tend to your potential, you know? Like they might see it, but it's like, oh, they don't even care enough to tend to it themselves. Why would I take the time to do it, you know? So I think just truly
historical questions and some of the protocols that our ancestral people have been practicing for many generations. And it kind of stopped for a while there, but it kind of came back up again, and now it's starting to become a common practice amongst our people. So there's a great deal of difference between tourism and a spiritual journey. Tourism is people from outside of our country, outside of our world, that come to see sites that have some significant history. And the relationship is just to see for themselves, for a vacation, and to see what it's like physically be there. And that's the European concept of tourism. So people spend a lot of money today. People from come all over to see the Black Hills, the surrounding areas, Badlands, the Grand Teton, and all of the countries that have significant history, historical names. And more so ever, all of these history had a stamp on it that has significant Native Americans history and culture. That's what draws the people from all over the world, all over the international community, to come to see our people, our land, and our history, the environment. And only because Native Americans used to, particularly Lakota, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, the native tribes made their history, that's their homeland, and a lot of stories, a lot of literature. So it really attracts a lot of attention throughout the world. That's a tourism journey. It doesn't mean anything to the people just so they take a few pictures and take some souvenir items and go home again. And they can say, yeah, we saw the Black Hills, we saw South Dakota, blah, blah, blah. But the other difference is it still exists from hundreds of years. A lot of years have passed at our homeland and our sacred beings, our sacred sites, has been a journey, a spiritual journey. So there used to be a common practice when certain time of the year, maybe May, June, July, the families and the communities will get together and it's a journey. It's a quest for renewal of their spiritual and mental well-beings of the families, the appreciation of our ancestors, and preparation for the future generation. So they first prepare by taking a sweat lodge and the family. And then they get ready to go visit the historical sites, sacred beings. There's some sacred history of our ancestral world. And it's a sacred journey, so it's like a ceremony. You know, they go on a journey to visit sacred sites, and then they end up coming back home, and that completed their yearly journey and prepare for another long winter. And that was a common practice for many years. So the first approach to a journey is today people must have a sweat lodge. At least one or two members of the family can sweat, because nowadays not everyone practices our culture. They practice the foreign culture. They practice the Western model life. So those people that still stay in touch with their cultural life, they ask, what is a sweat lodge? What is a inipi? Inipi is a ritual. It's a ceremony that one of the first rituals, one of the first ceremonies that were given to us from all of the other rituals and all of our other ceremonial practices. The very first one that was given to the people was the Inipi, the sweat lodge. It's very old and it's very historical. We remember when it was first coming to our lives, the history that been passed down from generations. It was came to our world right around the 1400s, 1450s, long time ago. But all of people were east side of the world, and before anything else was given to us, that was the first thing that they remembered. It was a symbol of the importance of a nation that is the center of all of our spiritual practices. It represents the mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. It also represents the grandchildren, future grandchildren, the female nation. So all of our cultural life is based around the importance of our womanhood. And the Sweat Lodge just reminds us of that ceremony. We go in there to purify our spirits, our mental health, our well-being by steam of the heated rocks, the fire, the water, and the prayers that go with that. It's a general practice, but it really means that you're cleansing your spirit being, your human being. You're cleansing yourself before you take a sacred journey onto our ancestral sites. It's a sacred ceremony. So once you take a sweat and then you gather your families and everybody has preparations, each person can take tobacco ties. The tobacco ties concept came around late